How can we be divided denominationally and perverted theologically and socially and morally and call for a day of prayer in our community when we can't have a day of worship together in our fellowships and churches? We can't agree on which day is the seventh-day Sabbath of the Lord. Some agree that they should celebrate the Christian Sabbath, the first day of the week, and others observe Yahweh's divine and eternal fourth commandment to observe the seventh day as the holy Sabbath of the Lord. But we can't agree on whether or not to obey all of God's commandments or not. We cannot agree to obey all of God's law or not. And yet we want to have a day of prayer. I believe this is just show and fashion, period. It shows our ignorance of the Holy Scriptures and of the will of God. For the Lord says that we should pray always without ceasing. That doesn't sound like a day of prayer to me. That sounds like a life of prayers. Full. Constantly praying. You don't need a day of prayer. You just need prayer. We can't love one another and get along with one another down here on earth. So how are we supposed to pray together? We can't worship together. United Methodists worship with United Methodists, Presbyterians worship with Presbyterians, African Methodist Episcopals worship with African Methodist Episcopals. The Baptists don't associate or have fellowship or communion and worship together with the church right across the street from them. The holiness do not mix with other denominations. The Apostolic, Pentecostal, and Evangelicals separate themselves from other denominations. But yet, we want to have a day of prayer. Who are we kidding? Who are we fooling? Oh, we want to have the appearance of godliness. We want to have the appearance of belonging to Christ without actually obeying Christ, following his example and becoming one in spirit and in truth. No, we're divided in church, denomination, and institutional doctrines and pagan traditions. We are not united, but yet we want to have a day of prayer. Don't make me laugh. There's just too much traditional and denominational and religious bigotry and prejudice for us to have any kind of unity, real unity in spirit and in truth. And we must remember that God doesn't hear the prayers of sinners. So how can those who have not repented of their sins, who have not repented of their violation of Yahweh's commandments and law, who have not repented of their sexual perversions and moral decadence, how can those who have not repented then come together and pray? Who are they praying to? They can't even agree on what they call God. And Yahweh does not hear the prayers of unrepentful, practicing sinners. That's all I have to say about that. I'm O.W. Prince. This has been your real illuminating moment, and as always in parting, many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivereth him out of them all. Life hurts, but God heals. Keep looking up.